Wouldn't it be crazy? And don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy?
Alright, I appreciate y'all subscribing to the channel. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that button at the bottom. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Go ahead and hit that button before I get this thing started. Appreciate y'all subscribing to the channel. Pelican Bay Kennels, it's your boy Hirsch holding it down. I'm giving you that hog dog news. Like you want it, fair and unbiased. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people's feelings get hurt, some people's don't want. Anyway, once again, everything that I speak about is for historical and entertainment purposes, or the purposes of going my fictional books that you can buy off Amazon.com right now, under BlackSpielberg.com. That's your boy. I got at least 13 books written. Holla at me. But anyway, today we talking about Crossroad Kennels versus Waccamaw, and we talking about the virtual battle. Who won the virtual battle statistically wise throughout the years? First, I'm gonna start off with Crossroad. All right, I met Eric. Like y'all know, I met Eric a long time ago. When I first met Eric, he didn't have no yellow dogs. He started off with some dogs that I think he said he came down with. He bought from some guy in New York named Mr. T or something. But he bought the dogs from New York down here. Alright, he had a dog named Shocker. He was a man biter. He was crazy. Cream buckskin red nose. He used to run on the zip line. He had one named Nico, a white one, a white dog. He was blind. And then he had some big red dogs that he used to have on the cards. But I'm not sure what bloodlines those were. But that's the lines he was running at first. But then he got out here in this country area. See, he was from the city, but then he got out here in this country and he started noticing, you know what I'm saying, things was a little different down here. How we roll a little bit different down here. The dogs we want to stack up against each other are Crossroads Toe Jam, Crossroads Fatty, Crossroads Pee Wee versus Waccamaw's Big John and Waccamaw's Little John. We talking about breeding, rums and all that, whatever, pours, all that type of stuff. Let's go. First thing I'm gonna say to start this off with, cold dogs. Toe Jam, Big John. Toe Jam versus Big John. Which one made more cold dogs? Me, myself, personally, I bought a lot of dogs from off Toe Jam, and I got a lot of dogs coming out of Big John. Okay? And to me personally, Toe Jam made more cold dogs than Big John. A lot of the dogs off Toe Jam that came down off Toe Jam were human biters. Some of that human bite even trickled down into Sambo when I had him. He wasn't just straight let him loose and he'd go bite somebody, but he would bite somebody when the time came. He would bite somebody if you came up on him the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So Toe Jam made human biters, Big John didn't. Crossroad Kennel was more like a kennel, a money man style. He was more like how Garner is. Garner is a Chinaman man, but you can go to Garner and get any kind of bloodline you want right now. And you know what I'm saying? That's when you know you're dealing with a hustler or a money man. That's how Crossroad was. He was a money man. If you wanted a Jeep dog, most likely he ran that Jeep stuff. He ran a lot of good pure Jeep stuff. But if you wanted a Bolio dog or, you know, this kind of dog or that kind of dog, he pretty much had a lot of different strains bred to Fatty and Toe Jam and different dogs that he was trying out from different lines. So he wasn't really focused. He didn't really have his program to get all the way together yet. Even though he had the dogs, I give him he should have stayed in the game another 5 years, breeding just the Fatty and the Toe Jam stuff with the Jeep stuff, and he would have had some awesome dogs. Now when it comes to the Big John stuff, those guys mostly kept it in-house. They never really did a whole lot of outbreeding, and they knew what they was doing when they came down to it. You know what I'm saying? They was like years ahead of Eric when it came to this game. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that Eric started doing in the late 90s and early 2000s, those guys had already did it in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? They had already experienced it, so Eric couldn't really, you know what I'm saying? He had the knowledge that them boys had, and neither the dogs. Now before Eric got into the yellow dogs, he had a black dog named Troop, or whatever, that he was hog hunting with. Now, everybody know, you know, Troop what Troop did. Troop ran out the woods, you know, and he was hunting with Big John. Him and Big John was in the woods together, and you know, once them hogs start slinging them tusks around, neither dog had on a vest, you know, and it was this hunting straight raw. Neither dog had on a vest, and them hogs start slinging them tusks around, and Troop didn't want to stay. He left Big John to catch the hog. So you know what I'm saying? That was that. So Eric got rid of him. Next thing you know, I seen Troop running around in the projects. I'm out there in the projects. Troop out there in the projects with my homeboy. Eric done gave him the dog. Eric done gave the dog away. Now he out there in the projects and he went from hog hunting on a professional league to running down the street in the projects. See, coming down from that city, now I can't take nothing from Crossroad. He was a good fella. He knew how to work them dogs for the hunt, but there's certain things he didn't understand when he came down from the city to the country. You know what I'm saying? That them country boys was far ahead and far already, you know what I'm saying, doing it. So like I said, alright, we got Toe Jam. He produced Champion Fatty. I think Crunch was a 2-time winner. And I remember Crunch got out hunted. Eric called and gave him to my homeboy, but he died on the way home. He never made it home. And I had the only puppy off Crunch that I know of. Eric said that Crunch never made a puppy, but he had that one puppy. He ended up selling me that one. But she was. I never did nothing with her as far as. I think I ended up selling her to somebody or whatever. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I went hog hunting with Sambo. I went hog hunting with a hound named Split Ears. Okay, like I was telling y'all in the other video, I was super green. Now Sambo come from Crossroad. I had just got him, and Sambo was the biggest thing rolling at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I went hog hunting with Split Ears. And what I didn't realize was, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize a whole bunch of stuff. And then I came back to Eric and told him how my results was, and he was kind of like, he didn't really want no parts of that action. You know what I'm saying? I could look at his facial expression like he didn't really want no parts of that action. Now, as far as I know, Pee Wee came directly off Mayday, Crossroads Pee Wee. But Pee Wee didn't produce shit. Pee Wee was worse producer than the Eli dogs I talked shit about. You know what I'm saying? And he was directly off Mayday. Every single dog we got off Pee Wee was subpar, average dog or below. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get no dogs off of Pee Wee that we could say was finishers. That'll go out there and get that hog and do what it gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna brag about no hound we got off Pee Wee to this day. You know what I'm saying? And that was a direct dog off Mayday. And I can't remember who Pee Wee's mother was. A dog named Angel. But I can't remember who Angel was off of. Alright, y'all boys, don't mind me taking a little smoke. I gotta go to the left side of my brain to get all this stuff, man. I gotta go back. Alright. So here's the deal. Big John produced more champions than Toe Jam. Big John up 1. Toe Jam produced more man biters than Big John. Big John up 2. A notable female, the best female Crossroad had was Crossroad's Jaguar, which was an untouched female, double-bred, pure Jeep bitch. And I want to say one of the best females that came off that Big John stuff was Champion CP, who was who produced great dogs, and you know you still see him in the pedigrees today. Alright, Toe Jam himself, consistency wasn't up to par compared to Big John breeding consistency. What I mean by that is Toe Jam was bred with different kinds of dogs, so you really couldn't tell how it was turning out. You had to wait and see. You knew what the Toe Jam line was gonna put into it, but you didn't know what the other line was gonna bring into it. What Big John bred, he bred back to his daughters, his cousins, his nephews, and all that type of stuff. And you knew what you was gonna get. Year after year, you knew what you was gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So Big John up 1 on that one. Natural win, Crossroad to Big John. I think both of those take a point for that one. Crossroad had natural win in his. A lot of the Toe Jam dogs were lay down dogs. They'll come out, see what's what. They were smart lay down dogs. They'll come out, see what's what, lay down for a few minutes, get back up, test the energy, lay down for a few more minutes. If you still bucking like a wild horse, lay down for a few more minutes, get up, finish it off. Big John stuff is just naturally long-winded. And like I said, when it comes to hunting and chasing them boars down and doing it without a vest, just straight up going out there. If you gotta take your bay dogs, you take your bay dogs or whatever you gotta do. But unvested when it comes down to it. Big John out-hunted Troop. Crossroads Hitler was out-hunted by Big John male. He was out-hunted twice. And then Big Bud, Crossroads Big Bud was out-hunted by a hound from Big John stuff. Now, I always give you the honest truth. So you want my honest truth? If they would have took Toe Jam and bred him to a pure Big John female, or took Big John and bred him to a pure Toe Jam male, female, man, them puppies would have been some awesome puppies. It wouldn't. I can see that bloodline being the blood of 2021 if that would have been produced back then. You can't take a Big John dog now and try to breed it to something that's got some Crossroad stuff in it. You won't get the same thing. It's not gonna be the same thing as what I'm talking about. It would have had to been dead back in the 90s, back when Toe Jam was living, and back when Big John was, a young buck. Okay, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to that channel, man. Hit that button at the bottom. I'm about to keep the story going. I'm about to talk about Hitler for you. We're about to talk about Hitler, Crossroads Hitler, for a few minutes. He went out in the woods, like I told you, Eric was coming from the city. A lot of things he didn't know. When you come down here in this country, the woods are different. The air is different. I advise any of you city boys to check this air out before you come down here trying to underestimate somebody. You know what I'm saying? Even the Eli dogs. The Eli dogs can breathe that air better than y'all city boys can. Dogs can, you understand? But anyway, the dog Hitler he had. Hitler was out hunted in 10 minutes by a Big John hound. Like I said, they went out in the woods and the tusk started flying around and he had to leave. Eric started tripping. Eric was like, oh man, you know how Eric talk if you knew Eric. Oh man, something wasn't right. Let me bring him back. Something wasn't right. He must have seen something else in the woods or something that he ain't used to. And they put him back on the track. This time he came out in 10 seconds. Now I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I don't know what happened to that dog. I never seen the dog again though. Two different teams with two different goals, with the same goal, but they was going about it two different ways. See, Eric Crossroad was like, I don't know, he had a whole bunch of stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? And his dogs, he had top quality dogs, but like I was saying earlier, he was focused more on money. So if you wanted Jeep stuff, or if you wanted this other kind of blood, like he was dealing with the wild side kennel and them a lot. And a lot of that stuff wasn't, it wasn't what you wanted, you know what I'm saying? When they start coming in this area, like I always tell you, a lot of that stuff work in other places, but when you come to areas where the competition is stiff, you gotta have the best of the best. And that's all it is to it. Or either you're gonna be dodging and ducking and picking and choosing hunts, you know what I'm saying? And then, what good is that? When it came to fairness, both the Big John crew and Crossroad Kennels were some fair people, you know what I'm saying? Either one of the guys you deal with, they was fair people, so both of them get points for that. And a lot of the hounds off of Big John from back in them days had a lot more mouth than what the Toe Jam dogs was doing. The Toe Jam dogs threw a lot of lay down dogs, and like I said, Sambo was one of the more exceptional ones off of that strain. He did a lot of laying down too, but he had a pretty good mouthpiece on him. But most of the Toe Jam stuff had soft mouths compared to the Big John stuff back then. I think the Toe Jam dogs had more of that yellow characteristic, but I think the Big John dogs had a better cross of the yellow and the Jocko characteristics put together, you know what I'm saying? That's what Toe Jam didn't have in him. He didn't have that heavy Jocko presence, He didn't have the heavy Chavis Jocko presence in him. And like I say, I always say about the Toe Jam stuff, man, it's kind of hard for me to roll with it now because I've been dealing with it back in them days so much and so tight that I don't believe half these breeders now. You know what I'm saying? It was no breeders that kept it consistently going over the last 20 years. For somebody to just pop up with it now saying they had sperm or, which they probably do got it, but I just don't I just don't trust it, you know what I'm saying? And why I say, why you waiting so long? Everybody who knows fatty is gonna be out the dog game, so the sperm will be worth nothing after a while. You gotta sell that sperm high to people who knew fatty. You know what I'm saying? If the people don't know who fatty in them was, the sperm is worth nothing besides to you. And then if the people don't know who the Crossroad and the toe jam stuff was, the sperm is just sperm. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff that you can use to have your yard good off of or whatever. But as far as charging people $5,000 and $10,000 and stuff like that, won't be able to do it. So y'all brothers need to bring out some of that old sperm y'all got, and let's hit the woods with it. I say that to say this: in 2021, you can't buy a Crossroad dog off of and know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Now a pure Crossroad dog. A pure Crossroad dog don't exist in 2021. You know what I'm saying? And Crossroad, saying a pure Crossroad dog don't mean it's a pure yellow dog, because Crossroad had all kind of bloods. So you can't even say it's a pure Crossroad. You gotta be like a pure toe jam dog. Like a pure toe jam dog don't exist right now. You know what I'm saying? But you can buy a pure Big John dog or close to it, or pure Grand Champion yellow dog, pure Jocko dog off from them boys' camp. That's hog hunting. That's still hog hunting. This is the same way. You don't need a vest. You can go out there, take you some Catahoulas or some curs or something like that, or some good bay dogs, and go out there, about 2 or 3 of them, and they pretty good with the other dogs. You ain't gotta worry about them jumping on other dogs, and they gonna chase them hogs, and they ain't gonna stop. When the hogs, they got, like I said, they got natural wind. They gonna chase, they gonna chase, they gonna chase, and they gonna chase. And that's all you want. Chase, 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 and to finish them when they get hold to them. And they smart. They dodge the touch, and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They smart dogs. Like, we wouldn't send them in the woods without the vest if they couldn't handle themselves. Alright, man, I appreciate y'all subscribing to the channel. Hit that like button at the bottom. Subscribe if you haven't yet, so you can be updated when I keep them videos dropping. It's your boy Pelican Bay Kennels, Geraldo Hirsch, giving you that hog dog news, raw, uncut, and unbiased. Some don't like it, some will, some will get mad, and some won't.